Now you've already seen our videos on the Nissan X-Trail and the Qashqai, and while those may be the main points of focus for Nissan with this big product onslaught of these premium offerings, the Nissan Juke is an interesting addition. It's probably the most niche of the three offerings that we've seen today, and you can see that with its shape. It's a very crossover-ish, almost a cross hatch. Of course, it's larger than the cross hatches we've seen in India before, and that shows in its styling also. It's very sort of out there, very expressive. So while you have that typical Nissan design trait of this wide LED and that big V-shaped grille, you notice the headlamps, they're this round sort of with this tri-arrow kind of motif. So in a crowd, this Juke will definitely stand out. And that continues with the very sharp design of the bumper. And now if you come to the side, now you realize that design is a big sort of focus with the Juke, with the way it looks from the side. It's got this square sort of shape to it, large sort of alloy wheels. It's a hybrid, so you have these aero style alloys, these very sharp, prominent body lines, a tapering glass house, this sort of hidden door handle. So you notice that it's a car that will, or it's an SUV that will stand out. It's the same with this heavily raked roof line and this large spoiler, which also happens to be functional. It directs airflow in a way that makes it more efficient.
The heavily raked rear with the ducktail effect to the boot complete this more extroverted look. A number of customizable color options are also expected to be offered with the Juke.
Now if it wasn't clear from the exterior, the interiors of the Juke are, let's say, the coziest of the lot here. And you also realize that it's from a segment, this Juke, lower than the other two cars we've seen here. So in terms of plushness, it's not quite there. There's more hard materials everywhere you see. Also, it's an older car, so you have this more traditional shifter. You have a partly digital instrumentation, and the switch gear, if you've seen the kicks, you'll notice that it's quite similar to what we've seen in that car. Steering wheel again feels like it's been taken from the kicks, but of course you get ADAS in this one as well. You get, in the digital readout, you get a lot of information. You have a hybrid gauge as you do for power, eco and regen. But really the point to note here is the design, which carries forward from that expressive shape on the outside. So you have this swath here, which is very, lively in terms of the way it flows into these air vents. Like the other two cars here, the quality is right up there with the best that you can expect at this price point. Similarly, the seats, they are quite cozy. They're this single piece sport seats, and if you notice, there's Bose speakers built into the seats. It's something we've never seen in this segment before. So that's something to look forward to. Again, the same drive mode switch. Now, storage spaces aren't quite as large given the smaller size of the car, but really what you're looking for here is that initial sort of striking impression that the Juke will make. Now, given the Juke's smaller footprint, the space inside too is at a premium. It's smaller than the Qashqai by some margin and definitely a lot smaller than the X-Trail. But having said that, the seat again is quite comfortable. Again, you have that slightly high floor that we've noticed in the Qashqai and the X-Trail, so you sit in the knees up position. And given the space constraint, the bench also isn't the largest one. The third passenger will be at a disadvantage. Maybe it's going to be quite a tight fit for them. You don't get a center armrest too, which maybe will be added when this car eventually comes to India, as should an AC vent be here. You get a single USB port, and the window, as you can see, given the exterior shape of the car, isn't all that large. So if it's space you want, practicality, then the Juke may not be the one for you, but in terms of design and just making an impression, the Juke is pretty much right up there as far as SUVs go in the country right now.
The Juke uses a more traditional hybrid system that uses a 1.6 litre 95 PS petrol motor pairing with a 49 PS electric motor. A 1.2 kWh battery pack and starter generator complete this package. A more exciting option being considered for India is a 1 litre turbo petrol with 117 PS and 200 Nm with an overboost function that pairs with a 6-speed manual or a 7-speed DCT.
Now the Juke that we've seen here is a left-hand drive model, which makes us believe that this might be the last of the three cars that we see in India. It's probably going to start testing later on. But that being said, a 2023 debut cannot be outruled. Now the Juke will probably be the most affordable of these three, but that's of course in perspective. So expect a price say below 20 to 25 lakhs is what we expect with the Juke. It won't have any direct rivals considering its size and positioning in the Indian market. But we're very excited to see how this car fares considering it's very different from what we've seen so far, at least in the mainstream SUV segment in India.